Any problems with the Super Record 11 speed EPS and why EPS on the ACR?
So problems wise, no problems at all. Shifting is really easy. It's all controlled through the other button on the shifters itself. So you can do it yourself, even the tuning, or you can just head down the cage and they'll do it for you.
Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm here with Kieron and a Colnago ACR and a Campy Super Record EPS super blinged out Italian bike. I was very keen to film a bike when I saw this on Instagram and I messaged you. So Kieron, thank you and welcome to my show, man.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me.
We were talking offline. This bike is super specced out. You have the OSPW, which we will come to a bit later.
Sure.
Could you tell us more about yourself and why do you get this bike?
Hi, so I'm Kieron. I'm 27 this year, and this is my Colnago ACR. Then I've been cycling for many years, but only gone into actual road biking maybe for the past 1 year plus. Yeah.
Okay, so you just got into cycling 1 year ago, so would you consider yourself a COVID cyclist?
No. I think a lot of the COVID cyclists, they buy their bikes and they're not sure how to cycle and they don't know how to keep left and stuff like that. I know my rules, so yeah.
So you've been riding other disciplines of bikes, or was it
correct
just that you just got into road biking?
So actually it's quite funny because all along I've always been riding mountain bikes. I used to ride a Schwinn Moab 3 and one day I think I was cycling with one of my friends and then he took out his Pinarello Dogma 65.1 with the Campac Scirocco wheels, and then and that was the moment I told myself I think I'm going to buy a road bike, and then so I slowly went in search of a road bike, and I came across a Colnago, and then yeah.
Right. So Colnago ACR, I've never heard of a Colnago. The only Colnago I know, which is the luck ones, the C64, the V3 RS. Where does Colnago, what is a Colnago ACR?
So actually, the Colnago ACR is modeled after the M10 race bike. So if you've heard of the V3 RS, the V2R and V1R, so actually the M10 came before the V1R. So the ACR is actually modeled after the ACR, and it's actually a race geometry. So you actually can, but it's actually categorized under the endurance category on the Colnago website. So you do actually see some race-inspired features, although it's like a mix between an endurance and an aero bike actually.
Why your ACR again? Why not like a V3 RS, a V2 C64?
Because I'm still a student.
so it's a cheaper version, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind asking how much is the frame, or was it a complete bike?
Okay, so when the bike actually, so the only thing original about this bike is only the frame and the seat post. When I bought the bike, I actually got it at a really good deal off Carousel actually. The previous owner, he rode it once or twice and then he said that no, road bikes are not for him because he's aging and his back can't take it. So he was more than willing to let it go at a really good price. I think on the market, the full bike on a 105 5800 probably costs somewhere around 2000-ish, 2005. But I only paid about 1480 at that point in time.
Just for the frame and seat post?
Just for the frame, seat post and everything actually, 105 and yeah.
Oh, that's really cheap. Under 2000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And tell us more about the upgrades and what you have here on the bike.
Okay, so the frame itself is a Colnago ACR frame set. The seat post is original from Colnago. The frame is actually mated to a Campagnolo E11 speed. Oh my god, it's damn long, so you might have to.
That's fine.
Yeah, so it's actually mated to a Campagnolo Super Record 11 EPS. So electronic shifting. The bottom bracket is a C-Bear bottom bracket. The wheels are a Campagnolo Bora Ultra 50, the last rim brake version before they started producing the disc brake only versions. The seat is actually a Physique Antares versus Evo R1 Adaptive, a really long name. Yeah, and it's got the attachment for the Physique Lumo L1 light. The stem is actually a Adidas Super Leggero stem, 120mm. And the drops are actually a 3T Aeronova Team Stealth drops.
Wow. What is your height and the frame size?
My height is actually 167. Yeah, so I grew like 2 cm. I don't know how, but over the past like 1 year. Yeah.
Okay. And this frame size?
The frame size is actually a 48. So 48 in Colnago terms is 40 is a size 51, 52 in normal road bike sizes. So it's actually got a sloping geometry. So it's actually bigger than what it is. Yeah.
How do you find this bike?
So it's really comfortable. It can be fast. The bike can go fast. The human can't. But I mean, yeah. I mean, not much to say apart from like, I really love it.
Okay, let's just talk about group set because this is the first Campy group set I think on my channel, which is the highest, and this is the Super Record EPS. EPS meaning the i2 version of
yeah, that's right.
Campagnolo, right? So why do you choose a Campy over a Shimano or a SRAM?
So like I came from Shimano, but actually what happened was when I bought the bike on Christmas Day 25th of 2020, yeah, actually went to my I was actually trying to service the bike, so I went over to like one of the like carousel guys to like service the bike. And then I remember that time I was like, oh my god, so new to like road cycling. And then I told him, I said that, okay, what can I do to like upgrade the bike lah? And then he was like introducing me to like like the Campagnolo and like all the Super Record stuff, and he was telling me how he bought a new Super Record group set. And at that point in time there was like a question mark just floating in the air lah. But then after that, you know, you go home and then like, you know, you start to do a bit of research here and there, and then yeah, Italian bike must have Italian parts. So that's how it came to be. So originally, actually, the bike was using after the 105 5800, I actually changed to a 11-speed mechanical, and then further down the road, an opportunity presented itself lah. Then I just upgraded to the EPS.
So what is, I mean, I've never ridden a Campy group set. What are the major differences between I mean, in terms of shifting, the ergonomics, how is it different from a Shimano?
Right, so like I've personally tried the Shimano, the 9100 Di2, and like I won't deny that like Shimano shifting is like really smooth and really fast. But I think it's something about like the history of like the Campagnolo and like the build quality itself. Like even the crank arms are like carbon fiber. And shifters, the shifter blades are all carbon fiber as well. The shifting itself it's really fast. Maybe not as fast as the Dura Ace Di2 itself, but what I love about it is the mechanical feel. You know, when it's like you feel connected to the bike when you ride a Campagnolo.
Yeah, like you mentioned, everything is carbon fiber, even down to the RD housing, everything, man. And it's super Italian the way it's so curvy. how do you shift the levers? Because you see, I see there are shifters down here at the hoods.
Right, so it's actually something, so you actually shift to the easier gear by pressing
this one?
That one over there, yeah. And then when you want to shift to the harder gear, there's actually like little shifters on the inside there. Actually, I'm not too sure if you can see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's interesting because on Shimano, when you want to shift to the harder gear, it's actually all in one. But the reason why it's designed this way, in that, so when you're in the drops, right, your thumbs are over the shifters actually, and you can just shift easily.
Oh, you mean like that, and then you can just do this here?
Exactly.
Oh, wow. So are you a Campy convert, having tried Shimano and Campy?
I like Campy, and I always believe that Italian bike must have Italian parts. So yeah, but I'm always willing to like try new things, and like with the new Ceramicspeed and, you know, and SRAM's XS around, I mean, I'll probably give it a go one of these days lah.
Right. How much is the group set?
So I get a lot of good deals on Carousel, just like an auntie. But so the group set itself, or I think retail price, if you get it from KH Cycle back then, would probably have costed something between 4,500.
Really?
Yeah,
that's quite cheap.
4,500 to 5,000, around there. Yeah, but I got a really good deal off a guy who actually he rides a Look, if I'm not wrong, and then and he bought the 11-speed, this one actually, and then the 12-speed came out, and he told Cage, no, stop, I want a 12-speed, so that so he wanted to get rid of the 11-speed, and then I managed to buy the group set with the crank, I think somewhere along 3,001.
Oh, that's not too expensive.
Yeah.
Judging that now group set prices are really expensive, it's almost comparable to Dura Ace, the old one, right?
Yeah,
the down speed. So I was expecting it to be like $6,000.
No lah, I think the new one, the Trust Me is.
Okay.
But yeah.
But still be old school that you still have this junction box here, right?
Yeah,
Where
correct.
Everyone
correct.
else is a bit more integrated.
Correct,
Does that
correct,
bother
correct.
you that's there?
No, it's actually alright. Doesn't really matter. It's actually quite small also. So yeah, and the charging port is actually just below. So there's a little flap there, and you plug it in. Yeah, the battery is actually in the seat post itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the battery life?
Oh, fantastic. I think I last charged it like maybe 1 month plus ago, and then it's now about 67%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because you haven't been riding?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah. Been out fishing too much.
Awesome. So what is the full price of this whole build right now? How much do you think it costs?
I'm not too sure because like I have the figures in my phone, but I mean, okay, at the end of the day, right, it's not so much the price that you pay. I think it's more like the sentimental value of the bike. Yeah, so one of my friends who's like here off camera now, he actually helped me build the bike part by part, and then when I was with him, and it's really sentimental because not this chainring, but the previous mechanical chainring has his blood on it because he actually cut himself on the chainring. Yeah, so this bike really built with blood, sweat and tears, man. Yeah,
literally.
So, but in terms of how much I paid, so the frame set I think was 1480, then the group set 3001. The wheels, you still do see some of them around on Carousel. You should snag them up because they're collectible. I paid 2150. Yeah, then I upgraded the bearings to Seabear as well. Yeah.
I used to have Seabear are the bottom bracket bearings, right?
Yeah.
I used to have Seabear bottom brackets on my older bikes, and they're really smooth.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Let's talk about wheels. Bora
Sure.
Ultra. These are the older ones. Okay,
Yeah.
As you can tell from the decals, I like the old decals. I think it looks super racy.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to ask you why you bought this, but the answer is because Italian bike, Italian wheels, right?
Yeah.
How do you find the wheels, and why a Bora?
Okay, so again, basically one of my my mechanic who basically became my friend, and then he rides Italian bikes, Italian parts as well, and then he took out his Bora wheels, and I fell in love instantly. So again, usually when this happens, you go home, you do a bit of your own research, and I think for me. I think Campagnolo had really put a lot of thought into their wheels. Like if you actually notice the rear spokes, right, are in the tri-spoke pattern. So it's actually called the G3 pattern of lacing, and the reason for that is actually to actually balance the weight of the forces acting on the bike as you ride. Yeah, and so Campagnolo, the Bora Ultra 50 or the Bora Ultra series actually is one of the 5 dream wheel sets lah. Fell in love.
How's the braking performance like on a rim brake?
Braking performance has saved me a couple of times. In the wet though, I mean carbon wheels, they don't perform as well, but you just have to be careful, you know. There is a newer version after this called the AC3 model, but I think my friend told me that there's not much difference between the AC3 and the standard Bora Ultra. So yeah.
Okay. And even down to the tires, these are Italian tires, Vittoria Corsa.
Oh yes, yeah.
How's it? Ever tried a Continental or any other brands? Shelby?
Continental. So okay, no, I haven't tried. I mean, I've tried my friends' bikes, the Continentals and whatnot. But for me, I was looking for the tires with like the lowest rolling resistance, and at that point, and I think until now, it's the Vittoria Corsa speeds. So I had Corsa speeds for both the front and rear. But somewhere along the line, the rear started wearing faster than the front because those are race tires, and the grip wasn't that good in the wet as well. So you have to look after your bike. And then what I did was I replaced the rear tire with the standard Corsa Graphene 2.0s. So the front is still really fast. The rear is just a little bit slower.
Are you on clincher or tubeless?
Clincher.
Yeah. I think if you're in clinchers, it's quite easy to swap out the tires because, like you've mentioned, the rear usually wears up faster than the front.
Yeah.
So what I do is every 6 months or depending on the mileage, I just swap them in front then just to prolong the longevity of the tires.
Right.
Consider doing that if you're on clinchers, not so difficult like tubeless.
Right.
Will you go for tubeless?
Okay, so like these wheels are no longer made, and like they're like quite collectible. So they are tubeless ready. I can put a sealant inside and remove the tube, but I'm not really keen on that because like I don't want the sealant to dry and form stains on the rim itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
Oh,
Something interesting is that the tubes that I'm using are actually tubolitos.
Oh.
So yeah, the TPU material.
Any difference in performance?
Okay, so I was actually using the old standard butyl tubes previously, and I think I came across tubolitos and 42 a pop, and then like in the middle of the night, at 3 a.m. when you make bad shopping decisions and you like click and then you're like, okay, you spend 84 on tubes, it's a bit ridiculous. Yeah, but these are really lightweight and low rolling resistance, more puncture resistant as well. Yeah, so yeah, not too bad, but just that you got to pump them a little bit more often. They're somewhere in between like a butyl tube and a latex tube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got Favero power meters as well. Everyone is on Favero power meters. Is it because it's Italian, that's why you got them?
Partially, yes. And also because I was looking for a power meter, and then you don't really have much choices. You either get the hub-based one or you can get a crank-based one. And I wasn't really going to swap the crank arm out for something else. And so the only other option was a pedal-based power meter. And I think I got this set actually from Jack from Bike Doctors. You see this video? Yeah.
How accurate are Faveros?
So Faveros are actually really accurate. I think they're plus minus, I think 1% if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so really accurate. I think there's another, in an ideal world, where I had like 2,000 to spend, I would buy maybe SRM Power one. Those are like the competition-based kind of power meters, but they're really expensive, and I think you need the specific head unit for SRM Power as well. So yeah.
Okay. Last but not least, Ceramicspeed OSPW.
Yes.
Why? And is it worth the money?
Okay, so again, interesting story. It was one of those nights where it was my friend actually wanted to buy a wheel off another friend. We went to his house and he crashed into a gate, and then we sent him to the hospital. You're all traumatized, and then at home you're like doing like shopping. You make really horrible shopping decisions at 3 a.m. Yeah, so I was like, you only live once, and you just click and buy. So this one's the coated version actually. And it comes with the lifetime warranty.
So when you mean coated as in the
bearings are coated
the bearings.
itself.
Okay.
Yeah. So slightly smoother and longer lasting, I would say. Yeah.
Will you say it does make a difference, or can you feel it? Can you feel a difference?
Okay, so the math doesn't lie. Ceramicspeed says that you do save about 4 to 5 watts. Personally, I've used both the original pulley wheel and the pulley system as well as the OSPW itself. And the OSPW, I feel it runs smoother. Yeah, and slightly less resistance lah. But again, it's subjective to each person. So for me, I'm on the side that believes it works. Yeah.
I mean, obviously it looks damn good. I know I've been trashing OSPWs in all my videos. It's just that I'm a broke boy. So I don't have the money. Of course, if I have the money, I'll buy it and just say, hey, it looks good, man, and it saves 5 watts.
Yeah.
How much is it? Like $600 right now?
Okay, so on the Ceramicspeed website, it retails for $549 US dollars, or is it euros? It's one of these two. So it's not cheap. And yeah, I mean, there are alternatives these days. I think there's a French brand called Cycling Ceramic, so you can check that out. And other companies, Nova Ride and many other companies lah. But I mean, of course, you have to do your research first to see whether if they've been tested, do they last long, and yeah.
I think if I were to get a OSPW, it would be the Kogel Colossus. Have you heard of Kogel?
Oh yeah.
It's huge, it's humongous, man. It looks cool. I've never seen anyone yet on the road. Maybe I'm just like sitting at home. But that's really cool if you've seen the Kogel ones.
Yeah, I think I'm not too sure if they make it for Campac, but a friend has actually tested it before and he loves it.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, I would try it. It's huge. The Colossus is really huge.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, I forgot to go back. So coming back to the group set, right? What is the downside of buying a Campy group set? Is it maintenance where you need specific tools? That's what I've come to know about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for Campac, not many people in Singapore will service. I mean, they will service for you, but you need specific tools or tool attachments actually. So one of the places that actually does it is KH Cycle. So they specialize in Campac. They distribute Campac as well.
Do you find that being a problem because only one guy does it in the whole of Singapore?
No, because actually not one lah. There are people who do
Home
it.
base or whatever, right?
Yeah. So my friend off camera, he's the one with the Campac tools, and really thankful to him for helping build the bike and like help.
Also, your
maintain
friend
the
is a
bike.
mechanic and he builds everything.
Yeah, he's a home mechanic actually. Yeah.
Can you fix my bike? I have issues. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Okay, so we move on to the Instagram Q&A. You guys want to ask your questions for me on Instagram? You ready?
Yeah, sure.
So the first question is, any problems with the Super Record 11 speed EPS and why EPS on the ACR?
Okay, so problems wise, no problems at all. Shifting is really easy. It's all controlled through the other button on the shifters itself. So you can do it yourself, even the tuning, or you can just hit down the cage and they'll do it for you. Really easy to do. Again, what happened was why EPS is because again the bike was on the 11 speed mechanical. So that one was the 2011 version, and up until recently, 2021. Yeah. So it's a 10-year-old group set. It's still it worked perfectly, to the day that I sold it off. So again, the opportunity presented itself, and then I just bought the EPS.
Very colorful Colnago. Any noticeable improvements using the oversized rear derailleur?
Yeah. So I mentioned earlier what happens when you use an OSPW is that you're actually releasing the chain angles itself. So it's not too. I would say that there's lower resistance, and again the website and the research shows that you do save about 4 to 5 watts, but realistically maybe not so much, maybe 2 to 3 watts. I mean, if you're the kind that you've done everything and you want to try different things, I think this is one of the last few things that you would go for to try. And to me, again, it makes a difference. There are people who believe that it doesn't, but then again, it's a subjective thing.
Why not the C64, the definitive Colnago bike?
Why? Really nice bike. I'll buy a V3 RS. Tadej Pogacar is my fan. Sorry, is my idol. So yeah, ideally I'll go for a V3 RS in like built to his spec. But I'm still a student, can't really afford the C64. But hey, it was something to look at.
Yeah. How is the shifting performance with the OSPW on the Super Record?
No problems.
Okay. Slam it even though you are 25. Slam it. You're not 25, you're 27.
Yeah, 27. But yeah.
Slamming the stem?
No, I don't. I think okay. So again, the bike's already bigger than what I should be riding. The stem itself is a 120mm, and the drops itself is actually the reach of the drops actually is quite far. So I quite like the aero position. But if I slam this right, then I don't think my aging back can actually take it. So yeah.
Which part of the bike is not Italian?
Which part? Okay, so yes, the Tubolito tubes, are they Italian? I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll have to check that. The Ceramicspeed isn't, that's Danish. The bottom bracket, that's from Seabear, that's from Belgium. The bar tape, that's Lizard Skins. Yeah, so that's not Italian. The bike cam is from a Cyclic from Australia. But
oh yeah, you have a bike cam.
yeah,
Okay.
and the bike com from Wahoo. So, but everything else, yeah.
The overall look of your bike, you
Yeah.
have a lot of stickers, decals going on.
Sure.
I will ask 3 of them.
Oh, can.
You just answer one.
Sure.
Not even God can save this color scheme. The second one, I can't tell the brand and model of the bike and wheels. What is it? Are you secretly a NASCAR fan? Because man, there are so many stickers and decals on your bike.
So I will agree that the color scheme is a bit on the bright side, but Italian colors on it, and the stickers actually they are from the different parts that I have. So the Absolute Black sticker is the reason for that is because I'm actually using the Absolute Black graphene loop. Yeah, so really good loop. Lasts about 1,500 km each application. You can buy the big bottle. They don't sell it during the winter season. Actually, they don't even sell it sometimes during the autumn. It's like up to them. Then they want to sell, they sell. So, but really good loop. You can check that out. Really, I think it's the lowest rolling resistance loop. Yeah. And the Seabear is from the bottom bracket and the wheel bearings itself. And yeah, it's got my name on it with the group that I ride with.
That is the end of the questions.
Sure.
Any last wrap up? Here's your chance.
Anything that you want to ask that personally you want to ask?
Personally, I think I've asked everything that I wanted to know about the bike. I was very curious about the Super Record. Like I
Sure.
said, this is the first one on my channel. Yeah, I have no questions, man. Anything else that you want to top up, or if not, that's it.
Yeah, I think that's about
it. So
it. Yeah.
that is the end of the video, guys. Kieran, thank you so much for coming on my show
Hey, no
under the
worries.
hot sun. I'm so sorry it's so hot.
Hey, thanks for having me here.
Hey, yeah.
And yeah, you know, so early on a Sunday, right?
Thanks for coming. I mean, you should have been using this time for your ride, but you came out here, so I'm very thankful for that. That's it, guys. You want to ask your questions or you want to feature a bike, DM me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.